Natural light is the most powerful tool you have access to, and it costs you nothing, $0. And here's what's wild. Some of the most expensive high-end food photography you've ever seen was shot with natural light. No strobes, no LED panels, no modifiers. Just a window, maybe a reflector, and someone who understands how to use what was already there. When you learn how to work with natural light, you can walk into any restaurant or bar during the day and create professional content without plugging anything in. Let's start with the basics. A window is a giant soft light source. That's all it is. Light from outside comes through the glass, it gets diffused and softened by the time it reaches your subject, and it wraps around the food in a way that looks natural and appetizing. Time of day matters a lot. Golden hour, the first hour after sunrise, and the last hour before sunset gives you warm, directional light that makes everything look incredible. The color temperature drops into that warm orange range. Shadows get long and soft, and the whole scene takes this quality and just feels cinematic. It's the most flattering light you'll ever shoot with, and it's free. The catch is it only lasts about 45 minutes to an hour, so you'll need to be set up and ready before it hits. Don't waste golden hour figuring out your composition. Have everything dialed in so when the light comes through the window, you're just shooting. Midday light is harder to work with. The sun is high, the light is coming through windows. It's more direct and harsh, and you get strong shadows that can be unflattering on food. But that doesn't mean you can't shoot at noon. It means you need to get creative with where you place your subject relative to the window. Pull the dish back from the light source a bit. Use the angle of the light to your advantage. Sometimes that harder directional light creates exactly the mood that you want, some dark cinematic shots. The key is understanding what the light is doing at that moment and working with it instead of fighting it. Blue hour, that window right after sunset, gives you a cool, moody, cinematic tone. Lower light levels, blue color cast, everything feels intimate and atmospheric. It's harder to shoot in because you're dealing with less light overall, but the mood you get is unique. Great for cocktail content, great for establishing the vibe of a dimly lit bar or restaurant. Now here's a move that will immediately improve your natural light work. If the light coming through the window is too harsh or too bright, put something between the window and your subject. A white sheet, a diffusion panel, even a piece of parchment paper taped to the glass. This softens the light and spreads it out, so instead of a hard beam hitting your food, you get a broad, even wash that wraps around everything. The shadows get softer, the highlights calm down, and the whole image feels more polished. This is the same thing a softbox does with artificial light. You're just doing it with the sun. A $5 piece of diffusion material can transform harsh noon light into something beautiful. This is where a reflector or a white poster board becomes essential. You've got light coming through the window hitting one side of your food, the other side falls into shadow. If you place a white surface on the shadow side, it catches that window light and bounces it back towards your subject. Now you've got light on both sides. Stronger from the window, softer from the bounce. That fill opens up the shadows just enough so that you can see the detail without losing the dimension that makes the image interesting. A $30 reflector or a piece of foam core from the dollar store does this perfectly. Here's a pro level tip. You can mix natural light with a small amount of artificial fill. Window light is your main source on one side and a small LED panel on the other side dialed down low as a fill. This gives you the beauty of natural light with a little more control over the shadow side. The key is keeping the LED subtle. It should support natural light, not compete with it. If someone could look at the image and tell that there's an artificial light in the mix, it's too strong. Dial it back. One more thing, you can fake golden hour any time of day with a warm tone continuous light set to around 3200 Kelvin. It's not the same as the real thing, but it gets you close. That said, if you have access to actual golden hour light, use it. Nothing artificial replicates it perfectly. That quality of light is worth planning your shots around. The practical move that I want you to make is this. Before you shoot at any location, scout the light. Go at different times of the day if you can. Where are the windows? What direction do they face? What time does the light come through just right? What are the dead zones? What zones have natural light? Where are the problem spots with harsh reflections that have direct sun? Do this recon before you show up with your camera. Knowing where the light is and where it's best to shoot in a specific location is the single best advantage that you can have walking into a shoot. So tomorrow, go find a window with good light. Put a dish or a drink in front of it. Watch how the light changes as you move the subject closer, further away, to different angles. Watch how the shadows shift. Watch what happens when you put a white surface on the shadow side. That exercise is free and it will teach you more about light than any piece of gear you could buy. Just start here.